Unauthorized visitors to Moropolis. Identify yourselves.
Moropolis?
Welcome back to my episode reviews of the original Rescue Bots cartoon. Today, we're taking a look at the final episode of Rescue Bots Season 1, Bot to the Future. In this episode, the Rescue Bots must find a way to return to the past in order to fix their present.
In which Biff is corrupt and powerful. Our only chance to repair the present is in the past, at the point where the timeline skewed into this tangent.
This episode begins with Peter Cullen in his Optimus Prime voice giving us a previously on Transformers Rescue Bots.
Previously on Transformers Rescue Bots.
Man, it is so weird hearing Peter Cullen say previously on Transformers and then having it followed by Rescue Bots instead of Prime. I guess I'm just used to hearing him say that on Transformers Prime. This episode picks up right where the last one left off, with the Rescue Bots being attacked by the Moropolis. And I like that Bumblebee asks if they're Decepticons. Nice reference to the other show. Optimus and Bee fend off the Moropolis while the others escape. And I find it interesting that they don't use their blasters or anything like that. I guess since this is supposed to be a younger kids cartoon, they didn't want to show any of the good guys using guns. Although apparently they're okay with having Morocco's red and black banners line the streets, which I find a little distasteful because they are obviously supposed to be a reference to that time that Cobra took over the White House, right? No? Maybe a reference to Hydra then? Back at the Griffin Rock lab, or I guess Moropolis lab, we see Dr. Morocco using his Chamber of Youth, and being informed of the time traveler's return.
As for the children, make certain no one ever sees them again.
Whoa, did Morocco just say that he wants Cody and Frankie dead? I mean, they definitely left it open to interpretation to be safe, but man, this show can go dark. Chalk up premeditated child murder to the top of the list of most messed up things in this show so far. At the Hall of Inspiration, the team learns of their mistake, and they finally find Chief Burns, who is now Janitor Burns.
Am I glad to see you?
Young man, I think you're mistaken.
It's me, Dad. Cody.
I don't have a son named Cody.
See, now this is interesting, because as we'll see later in the episode, Cade, Graham, and Danny all still exist. So it's not like in Back to the Future where if Marty's parents didn't get together, he and his siblings won't exist, starting with his older brother. Instead, for some reason, I guess Cody was just never born in this timeline. So can we assume that in this timeline, Mrs. Burns passes away before giving birth to Cody? Which makes me wonder, do we ever find out what happens to her in this series? Or are we just to assume that Cody and his siblings are left inexplicably motherless, like so many Disney princesses?
Do you have daddy issues? I don't even have a mom!
Neither do we!
It would be kind of sweet if there was an episode of Rescue Bots where the Burns family remembers stories about their mother. Maybe Cody was too young to remember her, and his siblings have to tell him stories about her. Kind of like that side mission in Spider-Man Miles Morales, where you have to go around collecting audio recordings of his late father. Aw, I'm crying just thinking about it. So, after Charlie calls the Moropolis on his own kid, he sees his error and brings them to the firehouse.
Burns Auto Repair? You're a mechanic too?
Kids are. Hanging around machines all day is not my thing. No offense.
None taken.
Why did Chief Burns start to sound like Captain Fanzone there for a second?
This is why I hate machines.
So we meet the rest of the Burnses, the family of mechanics?
A third brother? I have enough of those already, thanks.
Ooh, this brings up another thing. What if in this timeline, for whatever reason, one or more of the Burns kids were gender swapped? Or what if instead of having a younger brother, Cody, they instead had a younger sister? Aw, that would be so cute. Oh well, moving on. Speaking of cute, Cody and Frankie recount their adventures during the episode Flopsters on Parade. But after Dr. Morocco and his Morobots attack, the Burnses reveal their secret project, the Mobile Headquarters. Which, let me check, yes, this was definitely a toy in the Rescue Bots toy line. So Optimus and Bumblebee arrive to help, and the Rescue Bots proceed to trash Morocco's Morobots. And I absolutely adore the part where Blades flies through the wind farm like Danny did back in the episode Countdown.
Giant propellers! I am gonna be sick. Copter, stop, please!
It's Blades. And don't worry, a very good pilot showed me how to do this.
Aww, it's so sweet. This is why Danny and Blades are the best. The Rescue Bots travel back to the past, where they retrieve Dither from Dr. Morocco, and then return back to their own time and their own timeline just as they left it. And it's a spark-warming reunion for both the Burnses and the Greens. And I like that the Greens are now in on the Rescue Bots secret. And I love that Optimus Prime praises the Rescue Bots' performance. And so, that's the end of Rescue Bots Season 1. Aw, what a great episode! Like I said before, I always love a good time travel story. And while this didn't have as many DeLoreans or flux capacitors as I normally like, this was still an amazing episode. I also liked some of the funny little scenes of the other townsfolk and their alternate careers, like the mayor being a cafe owner, or reporter Huxley Prescott being a taxi cab driver. Going back to the whole Cody's mom thing, I was also wondering, what if instead of finding his dad at the Hall of Inspiration, what if instead Cody found his mom?
Great Scott!
What if, for whatever reason, Charlie died in this timeline instead of his wife? I think that would have been so crazy. I mean, not only does Cody get to see his mom, but at the end, he then has to deal with the fact that he has to set the timeline back to the way it was for the sake of everyone else. And maybe for his own sake as well, because who knows, maybe they pull it back to the future, and if Cody doesn't fix the timeline, he'll start being erased from existence just like Marty was.
Whoa, this is heavy.
So as much as he may want to see his mom and keep her alive, he essentially has to sacrifice her for the greater good. And then who knows, maybe in a future episode, Cody revisits the time machine and tries to pull a flashpoint, where he tries to save both his parents, but then maybe there's some unforeseen repercussions.
Great Scott! I know, this is heavy.
But sadly, I doubt we'll ever get any episode like that, because just checking the wiki, there's not even a page for Cody's mom. So I doubt we'll see her in the series, or at best, maybe just mentioned. But hey, listen, Hasbro, if you ever do, by some miracle, decide to make a continuation of the Rescue Bots franchise, please use my idea. Heck, hire me. Not only will I write these episodes for you, I'll write a whole season leading up to each of them. Well, what about you? What did you think of this episode of the original Rescue Bots series? As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here next week for the Season 2 premiere of Rescue Bots Road Trip. You know, assuming I'm able to find the next 3 seasons of Rescue Bots online somewhere in decent quality. If not, well, then maybe we'll have to decide on a series to replace the Rescue Bots instead.